It was a crazy moment. I was so happy. I was seeing the person. I was like, I became a singer because of you. I changed my whole life, my whole family's life because of you. If there was a soundtrack of my life, it might sound like this. I was born in a very humble and simple place in Brazil, in Rio. And my aunts, they were obsessed about Mariah Carey. The first time I remember, I was like 5 years old or something, or less, I don't know. But they were listening to Mariah at the house. And I remember that they had only one album of each one. And it was like 2 aunts and my mom. And they used to like share the album. So 1 week was with my mom, another week with my aunt number 1, the other week with the other aunt. I remember me going to the other aunt's house, switching houses to be with the album, you know, with the CDs, so I could listen together. She was the one who made me feel like I wanted to be a singer, because I was watching my mom and her sisters every day listening and singing to Mariah, and I was like, okay, I like that. I think I want to be a singer. The song Fantasy is happy, and for me it's timeless. I listen to this song nowadays and it looks like it's a song made yesterday, you know? I love this song. Last year on Christmas, I was in Aspen shopping, and after suddenly Mariah drops into the store, and I was like, whoa, and I was freezed, and I was like, I'm not gonna say anything, she's here on her time, that's it. And then my friend was like, if you don't say something, I'm gonna say something. I was like, no, don't bother her, are you crazy? I remember that I looked at her and I was like, Mariah, I'm Anitta. And before I finished my name, she was like, wow, Anitta, I love you. It was like epic for me. I was seeing the person. I was like, I became a singer because of you. I changed my whole life, my whole family's life because of you. Having her in front of me, talking to me, and knowing who I am was like, done. It's a wrap on having any goal in my life. I'm done. I figured out I wanted to be a singer, and for me, whatever I want to do in my life, since I was a kid, I need to be amazing. I need to understand about everything so I can give my opinions. I've always been like that, and I've always been a lover of movies. There was this movie called Down to You. I was obsessed about this movie. I used to watch this movie like every week. And there was this moment that Julia Stiles, she sings for the guy this song, and she was singing for him, and I was like, what a great song. I'm so in love with you. And then I met All Green, and then I started to search about all of these kind of music, like jazz, R&B, old American music, and I got obsessed. And then I started to search about music in the different ways. And this song, until nowadays, is my favorite song ever in life. If there's a point that I fall in love with someone in my life, the song needs to be this one. When I meet the person, I'm getting into the place, I meet the person, and then this song is playing in the back. I was 23 years old, and I was like, okay, what else? What else I'm gonna do? I'm 23 right now, and I got all the biggest awards in my country. I need to have another goal, like a bigger one, you know? I had a trip. I remember I was like, okay, let me go on vacations and search for what is going on in the world. Neymar is a soccer player here from Brazil, friends of mine. I went to his house with some friends, and they were all every time playing to Ginza, this song, Ginza, and I was like, which song is that? We don't know this song in Brazil, and here's like huge. And they were like, oh my God, it's Jay Balvin. And I was like, who is Jay Balvin? Let's go, I want to know. I started to talk with Jay Balvin. I did a remix of Ginza of this song. And it was amazing. After I met Maluma, and we sang a song together. People started to know me out of Brazil and the Latin America world because of J Balvin and Maluma, and people started to know J Balvin and Maluma in Brazil because of me. So we did like an exchange, like a switch. We are all Latinos, but the language makes it separate us, because in Brazil it's Portuguese, and the other countries of Latin America is Spanish. So it kind of does like a wall in between. And I said like, okay, music can break it. Like, for sure, music is the one who can make it different. So I started to contact everyone and do my collabs. That night was really epic to me because, first of all, because I was invited for singing there, but from two big singers from Brazil, which are Gilberto and Caetano Veloso. They are icons here in the country, and I couldn't believe actually that they were inviting me, because it was still a moment that I was going through this process of prejudice from my favela world, and I never thought they were gonna invite me for such an important moment for the country. In the newspapers here in Brazil, they were like, oh my God, they're gonna put this girl who shaked her ass to represent us singing in the Olympic Games. Like, oh my God, this funk girl, this favela girl. And it was in all of the newspapers, and I was like feeling kind of insecure. I mean, not insecure, because I knew I was gonna kill it, but I was feeling sad because of the comments. When I got there and I really did a good job, in all of the other countries, everyone was saying good things about me. I was like, okay, I don't give a shit about what people here are saying. Look at the other countries, they are saying I'm amazing. So I loved it. This song is really old, and it's part of the culture here. For me, it's really important that I was singing this song there. The name of the song, the meaning is, it is what it is. It's saying like, this here is a little bit of Brazil, this Brazil that's sing and it's happy. That's what the song is about. Brazil, the country can be hard for everyone, but the people make it happy anyways. That's why I like it. So this was pretty much another breaking of a prejudice wall. I was invited for Andrea Bocelli's tour here in Brazil. I was gonna sing with him at these two concerts. And then when it got to the news here in Brazil that I was invited to sing with him, again, a lot of people started with these comments, prejudice comments like, oh my God, even if I was poor, even if I was from the favela, I loved music and I studied. Here in Brazil, people were and are still very prejudiced with us, like, oh, okay, she shake her ass, she doesn't know how to sing. So that's what they basically were saying, like, oh my God, Andrea Bocelli invited this girl who shake her ass to sing with her. Oh my God, this booty girl, she's gonna sing with the butt. She's, you know, it was very heavy comments. And the day that I was there to sing, it was a very big arena with 40,000 people. I was super prepared. I was already very nervous because you can imagine it's Andrea Bocelli. I was gonna sing 3 songs. One in English, one in Italian, and another in Spanish. And it's really hard to sing in another language, but okay, let's go. The first song was Me Alone. 40,000 people were like, throwing up things and like really screaming, like saying like bad words and stuff. And I just deleted all of that from my head, and I was like, okay, let's do what you already know that you're gonna do. And when I started singing, after 5 seconds, they stopped screaming. And after 10 seconds, they started to clap hands. And when I finished the song, they were screaming, but in a good way, and standing up and clapping hands. Like, It was like they were saying I'm sorry, and I felt glad, but also I was like, why did I need to go through this? Why people still so prejudiced with things, you know? After this, I realized that I needed to do something to make people stop this prejudice, and that's why I started to look for an international career. So now they would never do this with me, you know, never ever, because I've went through some places that people have never been in my country, and they understand how hard it is, how professional you need to be. But back in that time, no. So that's why I put this song there. I didn't know this song also, but then I realized it's huge for all around the Latin world. This song I performed with Maluma, Carlos Rivera, and Natalia Jimenez at the final of The Voice Mexico. I got very emotional this day because for me it was like me breaking a huge wall of prejudice from my own country with me because of the origin of my work, of my rhythm. This story is crazy. Some time ago I had a meeting with his manager, and he had my contact, and then he called me right away and he was like, Anitta, it's Uncle Snoop. And I was like, what the hell is going on? What? I'm like, what? And he was like, I want to record with you. And I was like, okay, let's go. And I invited him for this song in my album, which I love, Onda Diferente.
Anitta, so glad to meet ya. I'm Big Snoop Dogg.
But then he invited me for his song in his album, which is the song that I picked. And for me it was special because he chose Brazilian producers, Brazilian funk music, the favela rhythm to be in his album. And this is so representative for my country, for my favela people. Wow, that was unbelievable to me. The song that reminds me of this moment is Little Square, the song of Snoop Dogg with me featuring on it.
La me llamo Anitta, I'm blowing through your speakers, I'ma make your head.
And also this name, Little Square, it's the dance, the dance move that I created here in my country called Little Square. It's a funk dance movement that all the country does, and I introduced the movement to him, and he wanted to call the song Little Square, and I was like, okay. Everything was so unbelievable to me. So the next song that I chose is La Vida es un Carnaval, Celia Cruz. Latin countries that speak Spanish and Brazil, they are very differently culturally talking because we speak different language. So Celia Cruz is an icon for all of these countries that speak Spanish, but for Brazil. For Brazil, it's not because we don't speak Spanish. I met this song and then I started to realize that every place about culture that I go, they play this music. Also, thank God I met this song in such an important moment. They invited me to sing in the Latin Grammys. I never thought I was gonna be on a Latin Grammys. I never thought I was gonna be performing with my album nominated. And I was also singing with other epic singers from the Latin world. So that was very important to me to have my album nominated, the only female there, nominated with like the best album, the album that I did by myself, and being there at the Latin Grammys singing with such iconic singers, such an iconic song. Wow, that was a very important moment. I hope that if I could put a next song in my soundtrack to talk about my future, I wish I could put Girl from Rio, which is a song that has a flavor of old Brazilian song and I wish this song really brings my culture to out of my country and finally makes people here understand what I was doing all of this time.